When is it time to give up on your ex? That's what we're going to be talking about today. But first, my name is Clay with modernlove.life, where we help you get the great loving relationship that you're looking for without having to play mind games, without having to play hard to get, and without having to pretend to be someone or something that you're not, because you deserve to be loved for the unique, amazing, and wonderful person that you are. And if you agree with me and you like what we're doing here, do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new here, think about subscribing to the channel while you're down there. I know that there are a lot of people that say, you should never, ever, 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 ever get back together with your ex. And maybe that makes sense for them, but it's kind of based on the opinion that you are a stagnant person, that your ex is a stagnant person, and that neither one of you has the ability to create a new dynamic or to create something different between the two of you. And if that's the case, and you're a stagnant person and you don't have any intention on improving your connection, improving your relationship with your ex, or improving how you're bringing yourself to the relationship, then sure, that makes sense. You probably aren't a good fit for your ex, and they're probably not a good fit for you because the two of you have already ended up in a breakup. But if you're actually able and willing to open up to the idea of changing how you're interacting with one another, changing how you're bringing yourself to the relationship, and making other changes in your life, then, sure, of course, if you actually want to get back together with your ex, sure, it makes sense to go ahead and explore what might be possible there. But there are going to come times when things are going to get hard. I've been working with people to help them get back together with their exes since 2009, and I've yet to find a situation where it has been just like a totally easy, simple, linear process. Typically, there's a lot of ups and downs and twists and turns along the way. So how do you know when you're in the middle of one of those downs? How do you know when it's just a temporary thing that you can get through that will eventually lead you to actually get back together? Or how do you know when it's just, hey, we're down for the count? First of all, I would suggest that you open yourself up to other possibilities. If your ex is just totally walling you out, not talking to you, not responding to you, no matter what you're doing. Now, there are a lot of reasons why your ex might not be responding to you, many of which could be due to, unresolved emotions from things that happened before, during, or after the breakup. It could be how you're contacting your ex. It could be that you're maybe sending the wrong message. Maybe you're being too relationship focused. Maybe you're behaving in a way that's not inspiring them to want to open up. It could be something like that. And of course, we can take a look at those things, work on changing them, work on positioning you in a better way so that you can have a better impact with your ex to potentially open up that door for communication. But if your ex is just totally closed off to the idea of being in communication with you, then there's not a whole lot that we can honestly do. That's not to say that it's going to be that way forever and that you're never going to get back together with your ex. We just need to make this distinction between, getting back together with your ex now and getting back together with your ex maybe sometime down the road. People often have this kind of black or white thinking where it's like, okay, I'm either going to get back together with my ex right now or it's just never going to happen. And it doesn't necessarily work that way. Sure, you can get back together with your ex right now. That's definitely possible. But if your ex is closed off to being in contact with you, then there's not much we can do right now. They might just need to kind of work through some emotions on their own. They might need to just kind of get a little bit more life experience so that they can have perspective and maybe, let things from the past kind of work themselves out a little bit to the point where they're ready to be in communication with you. I've had clients who have gotten back in touch with exes from, years ago, things like that. Definitely something that can happen, but you have to let go of that black or white thinking that either it's going to happen now or it's never going to happen. The two of you might just not see each other for a couple months or maybe a year or something like that, and then you start getting in contact again, and maybe that leads the two of you towards getting back together. But if your ex is not responding to you right now, if they're just walling you out and you've done some things to adjust your approach and they're still not talking to you, they're still not responding to you, then I would encourage you to start opening yourself up to other possibilities. I do not want you to just kind of put your entire life on hold for your ex to, take an indefinite amount of time to work through their feelings, their emotions, the things that are hanging them up, and all of that. So if your ex is not open to being in communication with you right now, and you've done some things to try to correct that, then I would recommend that you start to open yourself up towards other possibilities for now. There's nothing wrong with swinging around once in a while, checking in with your ex, seeing if they're open to talking to you or something like that every now and then. But I would not suggest that you do that and put your life on hold, waiting for them to get back in communication with you, okay? The second way that you can tell that it's time to give up on your ex is, after you take stock of your life and what you want in a relationship, what's important to you, and you take an honest look at your ex as a person, you take an honest look at the relationship that you had and the relationship that you're capable of having with them and who they are and all of that stuff, and you realize that, okay, it just may not be very likely that they're able to give me the kind of relationship and the kind of life that I want. They just may not be in a place where they're able to be the kind of partner that I want. Maybe you want somebody who's able to, commit, but they're commitment phobic. Or maybe you want somebody who's going to have like a lot of empathy and understanding towards you, but they have narcissistic personality disorder or something like that. You need to start getting honest with yourself about these things. And we don't want to try and force a round peg through a square hole, because that's a big exercise in frustration. Again, that's not to say that your ex is always going to be this way. That's not to say that they will never change. They might change. They might get their issues figured out. They might come around, come to their senses, all of these sorts of things. But we don't want to put our life on hold for them to indefinitely take some period of time that may never even come at all. They may never work through these issues, and they may never choose to get their act together in the way that you want them to. And last thing I want you to do is to just hold on to this person who may not be able or willing to give you the kind of relationship that you want. So the other time that I think that it's time to give up on your ex is if you fundamentally see that the two of you aren't actually capable of having the kind of relationship that you want with one another. A third sign that it might be time to give up on your ex is if you seem to be stuck in a certain kind of situation or a certain kind of dynamic, and you're doing things to kind of loosen it up, but it's just not moving past that. So for example, maybe the two of you start to get close, but then you accidentally have an argument or something like that, and then you have to pull apart and then come back to get close again, and then accidentally have another argument and all of that. Sure, you can call those things out. You can do things to try to reduce the arguments that you have, to avoid the arguments, to have better connection, better communication, all of that. But if you find yourself continually dipping into the same dynamic over and over and over again, and you're unable to get past that to the point that you're able to have the kind of connection and relationship that you want, then that's when I would, as a friend, not someone who says like, hey, I'm some sort of authority who knows everything and your situation is hopeless. But no, just as a friend who wants to see you happy and in a great relationship, I'd go and I'd tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, like it seems like you're stuck in a repeating cycle here. Are you sure this is what you want to do? And it's okay if you do want to do this, but I want you to check in with yourself. And if you do want to do it, that's fine. But if you don't, if you're fed up, if you just want to have a different kind of relationship, a different kind of lifestyle, there's nothing wrong with that. Go ahead. It's okay to walk away from a relationship. It's also okay to give up on your ex if for any reason you just want to, right? You don't need necessarily any sort of other reason. If you just want to walk away from that relationship and try something new, that's also okay as well too. So these are some things to think about when it comes to knowing when it's time to give up on your ex. Once again, my name is Clay. I hope you found this video helpful. If you like what we're doing, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and think about subscribing to the channel if you're new here. Here are a few things you might want to check out. We have a series over here on signs that your ex wants you back. You might want to check that out, or you might want to check out this video over here. It could also help you out as well too. But once again, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you next time in the next video. Please take care.